These pictures have always been on the wall, but I, when I was talking the other day, I was flipped. I had the camera over here. Now I'm flipped. And I flipped around.
So those pictures are always there. Do you always have your office there?
Well, I'm not always. I have two offices that are like real offices. I'm not an EXP agent. I actually have legit offices.
Yeah, you got to save that content when we go live.
We're live. We're live now. We're live, guys.
Right. Oh God, can we rewind that?
Real brick and mortar offices. So I usually know I'm not sitting in my closet like to just do normal day by day work. But in this situation, this is where my home office is, in the closet.
The Unabomber closet.
The Unabomber. Yeah, it's a little cave. I'm gonna get a lot of shit done in this cave. A lot of deals are happening in this cave.
Yeah.
I sent TF the Zoom link, and I said, hopefully you'll pop in and surprise us. So we'll see. I'm not holding my breath.
I was thinking about going to one of my offices just so I didn't have to get all kinds of shit from you guys, but then I didn't want to show you guys up. If I went to the nice office, big huge square footage all for myself, fancy high ceilings, it would have felt like I was trying too hard for you guys. So
plus you got to stay at home, Byron. You're doing your civic duty by staying at home in your shack, and I appreciate that.
So what's up with your? I only have one more room like this, and my wife and daughter, they're on the other side. They're in that one other room that I have.
Is this the first conversation that leads to we're gonna do a Kickstarter donations so Byron can get a bigger shack, or?
Yeah, start it up.
I only have one more room, and then my kids are in the other shack. I don't know what we're doing.
I did a Kickstarter once for my animation series. Remember that?
I do.
How'd that work out for you?
It failed miserably.
The Kickstarter or the animation series?
The animation series. The Kickstarter was great. Got $7,300, created an animation episode, but animation's ridiculously expensive.
And what did you have to provide for these people that gave you $7,300? Like, what value did you give back to them?
Good question.
Shout outs. I created memes for their personal profiles. I wrote them thank you notes. I did a lot of things for them.
So they got something out of it anyway.
Yeah, they got something out of it.
We got a handwritten note from Eric. Great ROI. I'll take that investment every time.
So did any of you guys put any work into this? Because I put no work into it in terms of generating questions or interest or anything like that. So I don't know if you guys did any of that.
I think Mack has some topics, and then
I've got a couple topics I've written down, and some questions that people have asked.
Good.
At least someone came to play. Thanks, Matt.
Well, start with one of them. Don't choose them all, but choose one.
Obviously.
So one of them was fashion. What are we wearing now when we're working? What are you guys wearing during quarantine?
Well, you're wearing a banana shirt.
The banana shirt is it's just a classic RM shirt.
Mm-hmm.
You actually let's take this back for a second. A couple years ago, we were at the TF Summit. And we were at that bar upstairs, and I had never met you before.
Right.
And you were like, hey, I
when we
want
first
that
met,
shirt. Can you send me one of your banana shirts, and I'll send you a broke agent shirt? And I think I told you yes, just because I was kind of starstruck that I met you. But I didn't have any. I totally lied to you. This is the only one I got.
That conversation never happened.
It totally happened. I'll never forget it.
We also had our first misunderstanding at the Tom Ferry Summit.
We had many misunderstandings at that.
We did.
Night.
What was the first one?
I don't remember the specifics of it. I remember we kept like talking around each other, but now we're best friends.
Yeah. We just.
I was slightly annoyed the first time I met Eric.
Why?
Tell us about it.
What do you mean you were slightly annoyed? I thought we were.
I was slightly.
Yeah,
I was like, we were
looking at yourself in the mirror. I mean, this is not like a hard thing to get you annoyed. So it's curmudgeon. So it's pretty normal.
Right. Wait, Byron, how did I annoy you?
I had to get you into all the after parties. I believe you and your buddy.
He was your plus one.
Right. Was it Wes at the time?
It was. Yeah, Byron hooked it up at the Inman conferences, which I'm now banned from, I guess, or shunned.
I didn't get your banned though.
So wait a minute. Can you explain why you're banned from Inman Connect now?
Well, I spoke at one like 4 years ago, and then I was an ambassador, and then they never invited me back. So I don't know exactly what the reasoning is, but
Performance.
Just overall social performance, or speaking gig performance, or a combination of everything?
I mean, I'd give you a good grade on the social performance. That your ability to chug a martini is untested. I've never seen anybody do it. So, you know, socially, I think you were right there. I mean, that's really what they're looking for at those conferences.
Well,
you know, that's what all the people do behind the scenes. So it's not like it's unheard of. I always like people to try to impress us with how much they can drink. I mean, that's right up my alley. So
exactly.
That's why me and Eric text about the NFL playoffs and gambling all the time. So.
Hey, Toole, you've got a banana up there too. You got one of those bananas going.
So there's a reason for the banana. It's a couple. That's from Crumbaker sent me a thank you card with the banana. And when I set up my home office, like you, I don't work here often. I was like, I need like something cool in the Zoom background. So,
hey, I gotta tell you guys let me tell you a fun story with Tom, dude. So this was, I think, when I had first met Tom for the first time. So this shirt came about because we're part of a mastermind called the Banana Real Estate Crew. And that started because Tom Ferry always talks about, like, I'm from Banana Real Estate. So we made our mastermind and we decided we were going to roll hard to the summit in 2015. All like 7 of us were going to wear this shirt. And we did. We made a little bit of a splash. And that was when Eric was like, hey, should we bring Tom Toole into our mastermind? And we were all very territorial at the time. I wasn't. I liked Tom. I wanted him in. But we were like literally having conversations on the back end whether or not we should allow him into our mastermind or not.
What exactly happens with these masterminds? Are those like little mini conferences? Are they video?
They're oh, there we go. His internet connection. Oh, there it is. So
he's back.
No, it's
hang
like
in there, Matt. Hang in there.
Ideas and inspiration and all that fun stuff, business, personal, whatever. But we were drinking all night, and it got to a point where Tom kept pulling me aside, and he was like, yo, you gonna get me in this mastermind or what? Am I gonna get in this mastermind or what? And he legitimately wanted in so bad. And I wanted to say yes, but it wasn't really my call. And it went on for like, what? It went on for months.
You flew out to Philadelphia and like in January, and then like hung out and like came up like, can we watch your prospect? I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then we like hung out in my office. I didn't really care. I was like kind of annoyed, and I'm like, fuck these guys. And then like 6 months later, like, hey, and I'm like, and you know, it's more like a I wouldn't call it like a mastermind. I think it's like yeah, because there's a lot of different people in it. Like some have brokerages, some have like their own thing going on. So, you know, one guy's working on a startup. So I don't. It's evolved a little bit, but
Jason, if I'm ever begging to get in a mastermind, shoot me in the face.
Is that what your 2 sales over the past 12 months and your 5 reviews on your Zillow profile there, Eric? Or,
hey, you had that you've been preparing that joke for a week now. Also,
he's been waiting.
Yes, Zillow's fake news. I've done more sales than that. Anyway,
yeah, that's the story behind the banana. I got bananas up there too.
Yeah, no, is that Pulp Fiction or Boondock Saints? I can't.
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, right? Yeah.
All right, guys. Later.
Good. Yeah. Good talk.
Then we can start this thing now.
We have started.
This is drop the Zoom.
Now that we talked about bananas for 15 minutes, I think we can move on to some.
There's plenty of bananas on this call here, so it's not surprising.
Yeah, I hope your next topic is better than that one, Mack.
Hey, I'm sorry, man. This is an organic topic that just came up.
The topic was, what are you wearing?
It's what are you wearing during your workday, right?
Yes.
I mean, can you see right now?
Right. Good point, Byron.
It's a polo shirt. I don't know what else to tell you.
That's what
Go
I
to
wear
the next topic.
every day. I'm like Steve Jobs. I wear my RMG shirt every day. It's like the easiest thing I wake up, I wear it. I have like 40 of them, done.
2 t-shirts. 2 t-shirts.
No, I wore this just for this happy hour. I don't usually wear 2 t-shirts. But I'm actually
worth 3
in the office.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, he's laying it out. What are you drinking? What are you drinking right there, Matt? Oh, that's right. You're the kombucha. We talked about this in the
am I the only one boozing on this thing?
I got a beer, man.
Nice.
I got a lager from a small little place in Colorado.
Oh, there you go.
Dude, that is some of the shittiest beer out there, man.
A little boutique place.
There's nothing wrong with an ice cold Cousin Larry.
Cousin Larry is. I'm a CL guy. Cheap beer, good wine.
I'm with you on that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Thanks, Byron. I appreciate it.
Byron, your podcast buddy Nicole said we need some estrogen in the group.
I
facts.
thought I put the link. I thought I put the link in there, but then I think it was a different one. I put two Zoom links in. Maybe she'll grab one of them. I don't know.
Yeah, bring her in.
Maybe she won't. Maybe she will.
She might be hurt from carrying your podcast though. So
Yeah,
she might
that's
want to.
true.
She might want to break.
Hey, I love
If she
I'd love
jumps
to
on,
hear-
we can ask her.
Yeah.
Byron, I love that idea about that virtual neighborhood you were talking about on your podcast the other day. That sounds pretty legit. And I've seen that EXP virtual, like whatever they have.
EXP will do it.
That sounds pretty cool.
EXP
Wait, what was
behind
the idea?
Coronavirus to get everyone to work from home. So it's
What was the idea, Byron?
theory.
Virtual. Well, it kind of branched off. These people had a scavenger hunt on just the regular 3D Matterport scan. I forget who that was. I forget where they're from. Anyways, but what if you had your whole neighborhood, the place you sell, as a virtual place you can walk around, like EXP as a virtual campus? What if the whole map was a virtual, which I think will happen someday?
So like an open world, a la like Grand Theft Auto version of
whole world is
San
open.
Diego, where you can like walk around and like interact.
You're just
with the
walking around.
landmarks.
But you're just walking around your living room.
You can use
sounds
the
like
whole
that-
neighborhood.
I might
Well,
venture
The
out
whole
of my
neighborhood.
closet.
You're like a
That's the
robot.
point.
Got it. And
Yeah,
then you
that's
can
smart,
see
though, if
you
you
can
do the
see
whole
inside
neighborhood.
each house.
Yeah. There's no.
No, you can't
liability
go
issue
into the
there.
homes. You can just
Just
walk
walk
around the
into the walls,
neighborhood,
see
check
the
it
living
out.
room.
Yeah.
And then the
yeah.
homes that are open to a 3D scan, yeah, you could pop into
Oh,
those.
that's
Those would
clutch.
be the ones
That's a
on the
good
market.
idea. You could walk up to the door and then it opens to the Matterport.
Boom.
Trademark
And this
that.
exists, or this
Trademark
is
that before Glenn
technology
Sanford
in
gets on it.
creation?
This is a Zoom call on a Thursday night at 7:30. You know, some guy's drinking Cousin Larry's. That's what this is right now. This could be something someday, somewhere.
I understand that. I'm saying this technology that you're talking about, this virtual neighborhood, exists, or it's being created.
Well,
No.
Oculus exists where they can, you know, if you're looking at like a new development, somebody's putting, you know, condo building, they do the whole layout of that plot.
Right.
But for it to go to scale for a whole entire town, that'd be a huge investment, obviously.
Yeah, I think it's a really good idea though.
I think eventually
Yes.
that technology will scale out into that.
There
this
we
is-
go.
The entire reason I said yes to this was so Nicole would come on and
Hi,
I could
Nicole.
finally meet her.
Nicole, we're begging for you.
I almost thought that it was BA that wasn't letting me, and I sat there for a little longer than I should have. I feel
I was
like.
kicking you out. How's it going?
Do you have a rap battle with Papa Doc coming up soon?
Yeah,
Is that-
seriously, you look like Slim
Oh,
Shady right
you don't
now.
wanna- you don't
Broadcasting
wanna
from
see
8
it.
Mile,
You don't wanna
Nicole.
see it. Luckily, I have a hood on to hide it. I mean, it's spring break over here at the White House, so I just
Find that video of Eric running. I forget where that was, California, maybe. Find that video and just post it into the comments of Eric running like a freak.
all right. I will.
The video is not that funny. I don't know why you guys are obsessed with it.
It's
I'm
hilarious.
I'm an athletic
really-
runner. It's pretty obvious.
It really is that funny.
Well, it's not
no.
that funny if you're the guy being made
You're
fun
running.
of. But for everybody else,
I thought it was pretty funny. I thought it was good. How many
Hi,
drinks
guys.
were you in at that point, Eric? Oh, see, that was his out. He told us ahead of time too. If he got stuck in a pinch, he would just say that his connection got bad and he would bounce out.
yeah, he chugged 2 martinis prior to that.
He's lying. He's not moving on purpose.
Yep.
Hey,
He's putting
Eric,
that.
we got a question. How long are you trying to grow that beard?
I don't think he's in the conversation.
Yeah, he's gone.
Hey, if Jeff Mays is watching still, here's your shirt, buddy. I got you.
Was that the one you were just wearing and you took it off and now you're sending him that one?
Oh, no. I have
That's why he left.
I didn't even see him do that. When did he do that? Did
I
he
got
do
a
it like a
boxing
girl
shirt
with a
in the
bra where he
office
pulled
next
it
door.
under the thing? How did that even work?
No, I have a shirt stored in the other office.
Oh,
And Jeff asked me for the shirt, so I got the shirt.
there you go.
Thank God we
So
can't.
now that Nicole can drop off, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave.
Now that you
I
guys
just
got
wanted to
Nicole.
thank you guys.
She's like, yeah, she's
Good drop
sized the
off.
room and she's like, yeah, okay, bye.
You look
That's
like
it?
Rocky.
Nicole,
I
how's
feel like
how's
I feel like
business?
I should, but I did want to like cheers to you guys. I see everyone's cocktailing. So happy hour. Enjoy. Byron, did you get your hair cut though? It looks like you got your hair cut under that hat.
Under the hat? Well, I did get it cut, but I don't think I'm
That's-
supposed to talk about that. That's kind
that's
of breaking
illegal.
the rules.
That's illegal. How'd you do that?
No, just tell everybody that your wife did it. That's all.
I did it myself. I'm
I
gonna
also
start a
cut my own
barber
hair
shop after
about
this.
a week ago. Turned out fine.
Yeah, you have a-
You did that to yourself.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
You
enjoy,
did roll this bald
boys.
spot. There's less
Bye,
to cut.
Nicole.
Hey,
Bye.
by the way,
Right.
now that we're talking about haircuts, have you seen Pipes lately?
I saw him on Tuesday on a Zoom call.
So he cut his own hair today, and he went 0 on the sides, bro. Like 0 is it's a questionable length, especially when you're trying to fade. And it looked okay from this way, but I don't know what's going on in the back. I'd be curious to see the back. Sorry, Pipes, but
when you say Pipes, who are you talking about?
Bill Pipes.
Oh, Bill Pipes. Coach. See, I think I recognize that I'm not the Tom Ferry guy in this ecosystem here. I assume that's what you're talking about, though.
Way to kill the flow of the show here, Mac.
These guys' only conversation revolves around Tom Ferry coaches and gossip
Tom
around
Ferry in the ecosystem. Oh, Pipes was doing this. And what the hell are you talking about? Okay.
Yeah. You guys hear what Jason Pantana did last week? It's unbelievable. He posted a new Instagram story.
Well, Jason should pop into this next. You know, Jason might have a lot of knowledge to drop if Max starts up with some more of these topics, these fabulous topics.
Hey, don't put all the pressure on me. There's already
hold on. We got questions. Eric, what's the goal length for the broke agent's beard?
Who asked that question?
Diane Simon.
That's my mother.
Oh.
Hi, Mom. I don't know. I'm going full rabbi.
Questions from his mom. Oh. I'm out. I'll see you guys.
I knew my mom was going to tune into this. I'm going full rabbi mode. I'm going to keep it going until this ends.
Till this ends. I just saw on Newsom's press conference today. He said no sports stadiums in 2020. So I mean, we're going to get no sports out here till next year. How do you feel?
Will we be able to go to Vegas for opening weekend of football? That's what I want to know. Is that a possibility?
In September, right?
September.
Yeah. I mean, I foresee it coming back, but the thing is if they can't play games in California, are they going to like play some home games other places and none, or are they just going to do neutral field?
Well, they're talking about having the NBA playoffs in Atlantic City or like Vegas.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah, just put them into a neutral site, quarantine them in Airbnbs or hotels around the site, and then let them play out 2-3 games a day.
Yeah, I mean, Atlantic City is one of the bigger dumps in the entire U.S. and no one goes there, and they got so many hotels. So it's like it's actually like a perfect spot to play there. And then baseball, they have that plan for Arizona, which sounds a little crazy, but I'm all for sports coming back. I'm bored as AF or whatever the hell you call it right now. I mean, I'd be happy with anything.
It's going to be like 110 degrees by the time they throw the first pitch, though.
Yeah, July in Arizona is going to be rough to run double headers.
Yeah.
I don't care. Not my problem. I paid millions of dollars, whatever.
I definitely watch it. I've watched the 1986 finals about 4 times already, but I'm not saying I'm against it. But yeah, that has some logistical problems, I think.
86. Who was the 86 finals?
86 was Lakers. Celtics? No.
Celtics, Lakers, yeah.
That was earlier.
Yeah,
I don't know. I've watched them all.
Boston. Yeah, Boston had a bunch of teams in there.
Mac, not a big sports guy, huh?
I'll watch them, but I don't keep up with them. Like I can't name players. I don't know statistics. I barely know the team.
What does he say? He cheers for laundry when he shows up?
I cheer for the laundry.
What do you see when you're watching them that's not absorbing?
Stop spraying that on the board.
I don't watch it consistently enough to be able to keep track of the trends. Like I watch one game and then I'll miss like 8. And so like I can't connect to the players. Like I said, I cheer for the laundry. You know what I mean? Like whatever if I like a team and I go for their jersey, that's it. Like I don't know the team names, the players.
So if Luka Doncic walked up right now, it wouldn't do anything for you.
That name doesn't do anything.
I have no idea who that is. He could be a chef for all I know. Sounds like a great chef.
Actually, not a bad guess.
Yeah,
but if he was the Tom Ferry coach, I think Mac would know exactly.
I probably would, yeah.
So hold on, if you had to rank the top 5 Tom Ferry coaches right now, how do you rank them?
That's a great question.
Yeah, how do they rank right now?
No, wait, Mac. If you had to be
only rank the ones that I know. I don't know. He has like 170 or something like that now.
Yeah, okay, so power rank top 5.
If you had to be quarantined with one Tom Ferry coach.
Oh.
Quarantined with one Tom Ferry coach?
Yeah, Tom Ferry.
I was quarantined with one. I was quarantined with Bill for 24 days.
Jeez. Before the actual quarantine?
Yes.
So would you pick him again to be your quarantine buddy or not? Because that's a testament how your quarantine went.
Oh, we had a great time.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to say probably Bill just because we just have that relationship where we can talk business, but we can connect personally as well.
Bill
Who's the
Pipes is
la-
watching right now, so I think this is
Who's the last person you want to be quarantined with?
I think it's an obvious one.
Yeah, last coach.
I don't know, man. I don't want to talk about this no more. Hey, I'm like the social butterfly. I love everybody. Except for the Philadelphia governor.
Is there a governor in Philadelphia?
It's a mayor in a
It'd
city,
be a mayor.
governor for a state, but that's okay.
I don't care about politics either. Politics and sports.
But you know about real estate, correct?
A little bit.
Okay,
And hiking and outdoors and stuff like that.
got it. Should we
We're
get
not
to the
gonna-
questions, or do you
We're not
have more
talking about
topics?
hiking, right?
Right.
Yeah,
no,
no,
we're not.
next question. Next topic.
All right,
Matt,
Mac, you got a couple more.
that's your turn, Mac.
Well, let me interject with one question from the crowd. Eric,
Oh, thank God.
when
Thank God.
are you gonna dance battle Tanner Ritchie on Zoom?
Tanner
I'd like
Ritchie
to just
is
like fist battle him instead. That'd be much more entertaining.
Tanner Ritchie is a TikTok realtor star that does dance moves and stuff, and I will never be battling him.
Do I know Tanner
He's
Ritchie?
talented.
I think he's in
No,
LA.
I don't know. I think he's with Compass, I think.
He's in Beverly Hills or LA or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He has to be with Compass. There's no
Well,
question.
Does Byron say Compass correct yet, or is it still
I-
Compass?
I said he's got to be with Compass.
Compass.
Byron's always been very anti-Compass. You and Jason.
I've never been. I've got lots of friends at Compass. I've got lots of good friends at Compass.
You and Jason have kind of gone back and forth on social media, I believe, correct?
No, I don't want to get into that with Jason now because it'll only upset him and
I
it'll ruin
didn't
the
say
whole
anything.
mood of this.
I mean,
People
Zoom
like
call.
Come on, man, you got nothing to worry
Byron,
about. It's too busy.
Byron has a wildly popular podcast, and he was just putting out information or misinformation. I just had to correct the record. That's all.
Yeah,
You know.
The only person watching is my mom right now. I think we're all.
We have
to
52
ourselves.
watchers.
We do?
We have
Okay, that's
52
pretty
watchers.
good.
That was up at 57 at one point, but also down to 32 at one point. So we're back.
Okay, nice.
It dropped when you guys started talking about sports. Just saying.
Oh,
Would
yeah.
Eric's mom
Yes.
list with
The
Compass?
world agrees with me. Sports
What
are
to talk about? No sports.
Eric, would your mom refer you or list with you
Yes.
since you are a Compass agent?
Yeah, she would, but she lives in Tucson, Arizona. So
Where Compass is not.
where Compass is not, and I'm in Los Angeles.
Interesting.
I wonder
All right, what do you
with them? I mean,
what do you-
listening and
this is
selling
a
are two different things.
Here's a real question from Mickey Komai on Instagram. What do you expect from the market in the next 3 months? It's not a question for me. Jason?
I mean, I expected
Jason, Tom, Robert, Byron?
I mean, I definitely expect it to slow down, right? I think everybody's on Facebook right now saying business as usual, yada yada, and that's a really stupid thing to say. I mean, if you everything you're seeing now is lagging indicators from beginning of March into February. I think if you look at the showing time graph of showings month over month, their showings are down, right? I mean, most states are under stay-at-home orders. So now once that's lifted and starts to come back, that's a whole different story. But if you want to predict that, good luck, because I can't predict that. I don't know what's going to happen or when that's going to happen. I think in the next month or two, it's going to be a little bit of a pullback. We're already seeing that in Southern California. Month over month, I think closings were down 12% or something like that. Now, that doesn't mean prices are down 12%. It just meant closings were down 12%. And I anticipate that also holding steady in April and May.
Even once they let us out, there's still so much logistics that have to happen. Like all the people that were unemployed, how are they going to get back to work? Are these companies still hiring?
Yeah.
Are there any testing that are going to be done to make sure the employees and the environment is safe? There's so many wild cards right now that
I mean, yeah.
3 months, it could be 12.
Wells Fargo stopped financing jumbo. Chase just tightened up to 720 FICOs with 20% down. Like all of that will come into play over the next 3 months as people try to get qualified for mortgages that now they can't. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that it's necessarily the 2008 crash all over. I'm just saying if you just look at the stories that are coming out in the numbers, it's going to be slower than it would have been had this not happened for sure.
Well, the pool of buyers is different than 2008 too. We're dealing with a lot more millennial buyers now than we were in 2008. So the mindset is different. The way people buy is different. There's too many unknowns. Are you guys into the whole V-shaped recovery? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, nobody really knows, but people that got way more researchers than us, like Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan and these kind of places, they all think there's going to be that big V-shaped recovery. So I'd lean into more of what they think. That's an overall market. But if
he said the next 3 months though.
The
yeah, the
V-shaped
next 3 months.
recovery they're looking at is Q3. It's
Quarter
Q3
three.
is when
Yeah,
they're expecting that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I mean.
quarter three. So even if the next, my point about that is, even if the next 3 months are down and the next 3 months aren't as good as what quarter one was shaping up to be in January and February, you've just got to make it through and wait for that big bounce back because it's coming. I personally have no absolute stat to back this up, but I believe a lot of people are going to reevaluate their lives, their situation as they go through this time. And when it ends, there's going to be a lot of people that say, you know what, I'm going to do what I've been saying I was going to do. And I'm going to move that timeline up, whether that's going and buying the retirement home, whether that's that downsize or finally getting out of the rental and buying. I just feel like a lot of people are going to pull the trigger on things they've been thinking about doing for a long time when this ends.
For those in the chat, for those in the chat that don't know, what is a V-shaped recovery? Just for those in the chat.
So basically it's going to decline very sharply, and then it's going to go up very sharply. Like
Guys,
this is a graph.
The concept was that we put ourselves into this kind of recession situation to almost like we put ourselves into a medical coma to stop the spread, which means we made the steep crash, which means that once this lifts, it'll come back very quickly. It wasn't the housing market that put us into this long U-shaped curve. It was, since we forced it in at such a rapid pace, it will also come back at a rapid pace when it's allowed to come back.
We had a bunch of questions on that, so thank you for clarifying.
The most important thing too to remember,
hopefully these states are going to come around. I mean, I think this is going to be like a state by state thing.
Well, that's how it always was. I mean, there's no switch, right? All the stay-at-home orders were state by state.
Well, I mean, but we're one of 5 non-essential states right now in Pennsylvania. I mean, it's like martial law here. I mean, they're arresting realtors for showing houses. Like the state police are enforcing this. It's gotten pretty extreme. So I think Michigan and Ohio are like that too. So I mean, you guys at least like if I think there's a controlled environment to get back in there, and we got people like chomping at the bit. So I can tell you, like, there's the people that are going to move no matter what happens, like Byron said, and people are going to be sick of they're going to all hate their houses if they don't like it already. And you're stuck here. I've been in my house for 30 fucking days. Like, it's like, I know what I don't like about it by now. Like, it's people are going to make a decision based on how much time they've had to spend at home. And I don't think that's something to be undervalued here.
Tom, what's your feeling on real estate become essential soon for you in Pennsylvania? My personal feeling is it's ridiculous that you wouldn't support the infrastructure that is shelter, which is what they're telling everybody to do, shelter in place. And you wouldn't support the industry that supports shelter by allowing showings and transactions to take place. A typical showing, usually, even outside of this, before this, practice safe social distancing measures because people are, usually no more than 3 people at a showing. I mean, if they got kids, you can increase that number, but nobody's on top of each other. You're just going through a house. We've been opening these homes up, getting, the windows and the doors open on both ends of the house, getting a cross breeze going, using gloves, masks, disinfectant. And these have been very safe showings that adhere to all of the guidelines that, people are telling you to do to be safe. Why aren't the lobbyists, I guess, for your board pushing harder to open your industry back up in Pennsylvania? So
the board's pushing. They sued the governor here. There's an active lawsuit against the governor. The House passed a bill Tuesday. This is like Civics 101. I never remember so much shit from when I was in like 4th grade. Like when what does it take for a bill to become a law? Like that's
you still look like you're in 4th grade.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'll take that now, given how old I am. So it's not. That's thanks for the compliment. Rare broken compliment.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry,
it's that banana in the background.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy to see you, Byron. So it's the House passed the bill, the Senate passed the bill, and the governor's come out and said, hey, I'm going to veto this to make more things essential because there's been a really unique waiver process here where some businesses are getting waivers approved, and then the same like-kind business is not getting a waiver approved. It hasn't been very transparent, and it seems for whatever reason, this governor has been a real prick about this, and he's not moving on it. Like he's been very clear. Now there's a protest planned. I mean, it's gotten to a point where people are pissed off. I mean, they're going bananas on the governor here, and it's happened in other states too. Michigan, they did the same thing. So my feeling
I know where you, Tom, I know where you and I stand on this. Like, I think, people should be allowed, especially in an industry as important as real estate, to adhere to the safety procedures and work. But what's everyone else to take? Should people be allowed to work if they're adhering to the procedures, or should everybody stay at home and hide under their covers? Where's everybody at on this?
Well, I mean, the way you just worded that was pretty low.
Yeah, I worded it to my advantage. Go ahead.
You really worded it. I mean, I think there has to be some like responsibility to what you're doing, right? To your showings and things like that, because it's not just about you and or even your client. It's about, if you listen to the news and all that, you could become a carrier and then infect someone else's grandma, and then it's a whole thing. But you can't. There's a little bit of that at what cost, right? You can't just completely shut down a state's economy until you get the cure. Cure's a year, 18 months away. So there has to be some sort of, our governor, Gavin Newsom, just said it's not like a light switch, it's like a switch with a dimmer, right? You have to be able to slide it up just a little bit and then be able to go back down if you found it, you know what I mean? You just have to play it by ear, almost on a week by week, month by month basis. But yeah, I think we're at the point where we should be able to work, as in a field as essential as real estate.
In California, you guys are still doing showings and closings and everything.
I've actually showed 3 houses in the last 3 days.
And your numbers in California,
good work.
and your numbers in California are very low as a state in terms of how big.
I think Washington and California the same day they did the stay at home. We were like the first states that did the stay at home order, and we were non-essential like the first 10 days or the first week, and then they amended that. And I think there was probably a lot of lobbying behind the scenes with Carr and stuff like that to get that amended. But that was amended, and then now we can do showings and
yeah.
Like
I think
Tom,
when we were
your brother's behind you.
My brother, yes. That's Tom Toole the fourth, actually. No joke.
I think the other day when we were chatting, Mack, maybe you brought up because obviously Mack and Eric and Jason, you guys are all California agents, but I thought Mack, you brought up.
Yeah, we're all very
MLS,
successful California agents.
California agents.
Killing it.
Right.
But there's a lot of deals in the MLS happening, right? And so you guys have been on lockdown longer than anybody, but practicing the measures and still getting deals done, and there's still deals happening in the MLS. So that should be a model for everybody to look at, I would say.
I mean, we're probably operating at about 20 to 25% of what we would typically operate at during this time of year. So definitely a decrease in activity, but yeah, I mean, like Jason,
but 75% of the agents don't need to be around anyway, so don't worry about that business.
Well,
I think you just tapped into a bigger issue, the more macro problem.
The challenge is that there are still people out there that are being careless, right? There are agents out there that are not doing it the right way. There are people outside that are hiking in groups. There are people that are still congregating and working out. So it's like you have a group of people that are taking it seriously, and then a group of people that are kind of going rogue. And I think that's what we're going to have to deal with when this happens in Pennsylvania. You're going to have agents that are going to take advantage of the system, and that's what's going to create a problem for us. We just need to all be better at following the rules.
But I guess my point is you guys are following the rules. You're saying there's percentages of people that aren't following the rules. So if people are breaking the rules there, your numbers are still pretty positive, right? So
yeah, you're talking about the overall like cases and deaths. Is that what you're talking about? Like the coronavirus numbers, Byron?
Yeah. Like hasn't California pretty flat?
Yeah. For like we've been in like all over it because, and again, LA and Bay Area were both shut down really, really early and pretty heavily. Whereas, Fresno, I don't know Fresno, but like that's more of a spread out area. California is so big.
Go ahead. Take a big shit on Fresno. Go for it.
No, I'm just saying Bakersfield, Fresno, you got a lot of stuff in the middle of the state.
Fresh
yes.
That aren't as dense. So, I mean, in essence, by shutting down the big dense population centers, you were able to curb it really early. But then that almost goes to the whole nationwide thing. Like, does Bakersfield need to have the same restrictions as San Francisco? I don't think so, right? Because they're not as dense on top of each other. It won't spread as fast. So,
is that where Baker Mayfield is from?
Bakersfield.
I don't know.
I see.
Was that a joke, Byron?
No.
Hey-o. Tried.
I don't know where is
that.
that.
Can
Where
actually do business though. Like this, what's going on in Pennsylvania is pretty crazy. I mean, I got a call from a state investigator yesterday because the neighbor who was a realtor reported an inspector with a waiver going into a house. Like, I mean, this is fucking ridiculous what's going on here. So they closed down all the state liquor stores. I had to get a box of wine shipped to me because I can't even go buy a bottle of wine. But then there's, Baskin Robbins with the guy dressed up like an ice cream cone. He's an essential employee. Like, what kind of world are we living in right now where that's the case?
Well, Jersey kept the liquor stores open. So is there a lot of people crossing the Pennsylvania?
They're stopping people at the border and giving them tickets and arresting them for going to get liquor. I mean,
wow.
this is a horrible use of public services. I mean, that's what's going on here. So,
well, that's why people will revolt. They run out of liquor. They're definitely going to revolt.
Yeah. It's bootleggers.
Yeah. I mean, Philadelphia's a bunch of booze bags as it is. So, I mean, they beat up that robot that made it all the way through Canada a couple years ago. So, I mean, it's, there's all different kinds of stories to the people from my city. So I got a question from the broke agent. He wanted to know why I was here and sent me a private message. Any feedback on that, guys?
We're not getting the good questions that we need. We need somebody to come up with some solid questions that are just going to stump us.
Yeah, or we should have maybe planned for this ahead of time and had some questions and topics.
I got a question from Candace Decker. She wants to know how long the broke agent's going to continue living with his mom. Your thoughts?
She lives in Tucson, Tom. We already covered that.
Why would she comment on this if she's in the next room over?
No, Candace Decker asked the question.
What did she say?
She asked how long you're going to continue living with your mom. That was her question.
I just answered that. All right, I got a question. Do people actually come to losers? That's
Great
from
question. Losers.
Yeah.
Your feed broke up, Eric.
Oh.
We just got a thumbs down. I don't know how I feel about that.
Try that again.
Amy Klein Mitchell. Amy, why the thumbs down? Fill us in.
She had commented earlier that it probably varies by market. So whatever you guys were talking about.
Yeah, it definitely varies by market.
Absolutely.
Dude, New York is a shit show right now, like the entire state. I mean, that's a disaster up there. So
that is a disaster. And that's going to definitely take longer to come back. But when it does come back, there'll be some pent up demand, I believe.
Yeah, I saw an Inman article that only 50 new homes were listed in New York last week or something like that, which makes total sense. I mean, they're on complete lockdown, so why would you list your home right now?
Yeah. Well, we were on a call with Josh Rubin. I think he's given advice to people like that. Hey, if you don't have to list right now, but we can get ready and we can pick our spot and there's a lot of things you can do.
We did
leading
that
up to that moment.
Yeah, we pulled 4 of our listings off the MLS when the stay-at-home order came down, and then 2 more we left as like coming soon, or we were like, hey, let's just wait to list it because we don't want to be on the market right now.
New York's pretty jacked too right now, right? I was talking to Josh. He was saying that it's essential.
You just like take a nap or something? Like what happened here?
Nope. What?
Byron just said that.
No, but what I'm saying is no building.
Should I get rid of? Right? Should I get rid of Tom? Do you guys want me to get rid of Tom? You want me to mute him?
Get him out. Ask him.
Can we mute him? I can't. I don't have the power to mute. The one company does. Go ahead, Robert.
No, what I was saying was it's essential, but buildings are on lockdown. So that was pretty crazy that nothing's happening. I don't know how it's crazy. I don't know.
So Byron, you sound a lot more optimistic about the recovery come Q3.
Yeah, I believe in Q3.
So now what about the fact that Q3 is going to be now full swing into the election? Like, is that going to, you know what I mean? It's like we're going to come out of the pandemic and right into the election. That
I don't think that's going to impact. I think my belief, I'm going to side with those, analysis that we've all seen from Goldman Sachs and JP and these, people that think it's going to have this V-shaped recovery. I think Q3, Q4, we'll see this pent up demand and people making those life decisions and selling and buying even maybe quicker than they thought of. I think a lot of it's going to happen in the second half of the year. I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to work towards that, and we'll see what happens.
I think a lot of it too is what you're working, right? Because we have, I think 11 of our listings were $2 million plus, and that market has seemed to completely have dried up, comparatively to where it should have been in Q2 of this year. And so it's the day, February 24th was our D-Day for that, because it was the day the market dipped 25% or something like that. And that was the day that all of those buyers decided to wait on the sidelines because they just took such a bath with the stock market. So is that a market that you're optimistic about, or is it more so
the high end,
500?
The high end luxury is going to come back slower. For our high end luxury price point is lower than what you would consider your high end luxury price point. But for us, anything in that 1.5 million range, we had, we saw some deals fall apart for sure. Some disappointing deals fell apart as well. We saw somebody walk away from a 6-figure deposit, which was mind-boggling, a non-refundable deposit, but they made that decision. And so that's end of the market's going to take a while. And so when you think about New York City, that could really, even with what they're dealing with after, slow them down. But I think if you're willing to adapt to different price ranges and maybe go outside of, the radius that you would ideally want to work in, there's going to be a lot of deals for agents that are willing to get out there and pump them out, even if it's not their ideal deal that they always want for their average price point.
So how do you talk about that? Because, like, for example, I have a team of 6, and we have high-end listings, but we do
team of 6.
we do 500,000, we do 300,000. We don't discriminate on the deal. The deal's a deal. We'll do anything, right? So now, how would you go about switching your strategy from, all of my marketing has been in modern luxury or this high-end network, La Jolla area, but now I'm going to go work in Metro San Diego at a whole different price point? Do you actually completely switch your farm and buy Zillow leads in a different zip and do this and this, or do you just maybe change the messaging that you're putting out?
So I got the answer to this because I was through the 2008 crash. And you got to find people that are motivated. Like, it's all about how serious they are about transacting and getting better on your skill set, your questions, how you qualify folks. Because if you're not doing that right now, it doesn't matter what the price point is. One of the questions that came in actually reflects this. Are you seeing different behaviors, attitude, expectations, fears, indecisiveness in your clients due to the coronavirus situation? How are you handling them, from Earl Williams? And to me, this is no different than the 08 crash. I mean, I have the book Shift sitting here on my desk from Gary Keller. It's the same thing. You got to get back to basics. You got to ask the right questions. There's going to be people motivated at $1 million, which is a big price point for me. There's going to be people motivated at 300,000, which is our average price point. I mean, we don't have these like fancy California prices here. So, but in general, meat and potato stuff is what's going to sell. The people that need to transact, and that's who you got to find. So you got to over-index on your skills.
It's true.
Tom, would you do what Jason's saying though? Would you shift dollars in a different direction if you see there's more motivation in a certain area? I know I am doing that on some, we all have a bunch of different ways that we market. Like, for example, our direct mail. I completely stopped direct mail. We usually do monthly direct mail. Completely stopped it. And I get a certain amount of direct mail that I can put out there before I even have to put $1 in every single quarter. So for Q2, completely stopped it. We're not going to do any direct mail until June. We're going to load up on our entire direct mail budget in a short period of time, that 1 month of June, when theoretically things could start loosening up. Maybe other agents, competitors may have no money at that time, and it'll feel like we're blitzing the market because we're going to spend a lot more in direct CTA type of advertising and direct mail and these types, of forms of marketing. We're going to push all of that into June and do only branding right now as we build up to that. So I've switched my marketing plan basically overnight and redirected dollars.
I did the same thing, Byron. I did this. Yeah. So, I mean, I was asking the question to try to get some simulated conversation, but I did the same thing. We pulled our entire Zillow spend, which was $2,500 to $3,000. We reallocated. We work with Curator, which is a marketing company website, Chris Smith and Jimmy Mackin. And so we put the money into an advertising, Google pay-per-click and Facebook spend around our brand there. I completely copied you, Byron, the inspiration to supporting the local small businesses, going out to the different restaurants, promoting the things that are going on in your market right now. Know what's your home worth marketing. The messaging is, how can we help? We're out here in the community. It's complete branding right now, right? There's no like pay-per-click or Google or Zillow or direct mail going on right now, but you're just building brand for the next 3 months so that once July comes, then you can jump back into it, or whatever that month is. I don't know when that month is going to be, but whenever that month is, then you can reallocate back into trying to get scheduled showings and whatnot.
Yeah. And brand basically segues into relationships, because now when you're talking to people in your community and having fun conversations,
I think these guys have a side conversation going.
No,
they're laughing.
This is the real meat and potatoes of this entire thing.
Sorry, guys.
Byron.
What you're saying is extremely important. I've been messaging Tom, or I've been messaging one in company thinking it's been Tom, and just completely destroyed everything. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. You're talking
Byron,
about
aren't
Next
you-
time,
you're
just
talking
text
about
me.
the
That's
you're
a
talking
Zoom
about
lesson.
the
Hey,
Goldman
Byron.
Sachs V curve. I
Jeremy
think is what
Katie,
you're
what's
talking
up,
about.
brother? What's that?
Hey, aren't you nervous? Aren't you concerned a little bit about just completely going dark on the people you mail to for 3 months? Are you doing anything
No.
else to subsidize that?
No, I actually
People
think
don't
there's
want
enough-
that mail right now, man. Like
I'm
people.
not saying that
Exactly.
mail about marketing, but what about, mail about the virus
Well, I
or
mean,
things around it?
Well, what are
my
you going to send them? One
newsletter's
of those
going out
jerk
every week.
off.
I'm sending out Mack, I'm sending out a ton of content. I just think people are so freaked out about their own shadow. They're not even pumped about opening mail right now. I don't know what Tom just said because I was talking over him, but
No, so we actually put everything on hold as well. We stopped doing the marketing, the direct mail. But then I realized, I was walking my dog in the neighborhood and I had 3 neighbors hit me up and they're like, hey, what do you think is going on with the market? I didn't even know them. And they're like, we get your mail all the time. And so that inspired me to put out a new piece. And so I'm working on a piece right now where we are putting 8 restaurants that are open for takeout on this flyer and basically trying to support the zip code. And it's not about real estate, but it's really hey, let's give back to the community. These are restaurants that you can support during this time, right? So it's just another way to get my face in front of everybody so they don't forget about me.
That's the only kind of mail you can be sending out right now.
100%. That's
the only stuff you can send right now. And I mean, if you're doing hey, I sold this home in 30 days, another agent didn't sell it at all. It's not going to work.
no.
So I support that sort of thing. I'm not big on direct mail because our turnover is so low here. The ROI is not great. So all we've been doing is literally calling people and sending videos. We've got 25,000 people in our Boomtown database. So there's plenty of people to call. And if not, you can do circle dialing. To me, it's all about sweat equity and the same stuff that got me through 08 to 2010. That's what we're doing. It's all about just getting on the phone and making it happen.
Yeah, I agree. The phone, the text messages, the emails, those are the best.
Sandra says I'm bad. I don't know what I did, Sandra. I love you, Sandra.
This feels like a good segue for Earl's question, which is, are you guys seeing different behavior, attitudes, expectations, fears, and decisiveness in your clients due to coronavirus? Are you handling them or your relationship with them any differently?
We answered that.
You got to go to your people. You got to go what's best for them.
There's a question from Will here. I'm in SoCal, Pasadena. Inventory is down 43% from this time last year. Do you think sellers are going to wait until 2021 to sell if they don't have to sell now? I'm trying to get a sense of the seller motivation. But I think the people that have the ability to wait are going to potentially wait. And I think the people that don't, like Tom said, you got to find right now the most motivated people. And that requires questions. And you got to ask the right questions to find the right people. And then you can help those people that need it. And the ones that are going to wait are going to wait.
I think that's true. I think, and I'm not trying to predict this. I just think the writing's on the wall is that people who have to sell in the next 90 days are going to still have to list. They got a job in Minnesota or whatever. They have to move. And so they're going to list their house and then they're going to probably take a 10% or 5% or X number percent haircut because they have to sell. And the demand isn't as high as we've seen with the buyers over the last 2 months. So showing time shows us that the buyer demand is down. And so once that happens, that'll start to push the prices down a little bit. I'm not predicting anything. I'm just saying I forecast that happening over the next 9 months. I hope it doesn't.
Have you seen prices dip in their area? Because I personally haven't seen prices dip in this area yet.
Not yet.
Homes are still selling via multiple offer if they look good and they're priced right, but they're not getting 8 to 10 offers. They're getting 2 to 3 offers right now because inventory is literally the lowest it's ever been since I started in this business.
Not yet, but I don't think that we even have the indicators yet.
Yeah.
For what
It's
really
been 30
happening.
days. I mean,
so it's our stay-at-home order came on the 19th. It's only the 16th. It hasn't even been a month of the stay-at-home order.
yeah.
On the prices though, like Steve Harney, economist, KCM, and people that are following the Tom Ferry stuff, guys know who this guy is. So those people will know who I'm talking about. But, he's talking about a stat that's out there that 50% of homeowners right now either own their house outright, they have 100% equity, or they have over 50% equity. So really, how low are prices going to go when homeowners aren't nearly in as much debt as they were during the housing crisis? I don't think home prices drop really that significantly at all. I think you'll see a little drop maybe here in Q2, but then again, the second half of the year, I think prices will be flat, if anything, this year. And in fact, that's what Freddie Mac is, their report just came out this week that home prices for the year will be flat. They started to rise in Q1. Yeah, we expect a drop in Q2. We'll get that back in 3 and 4 and really end up flat on average home prices, national number there. But I don't think home values are really going anywhere.
Yeah, I don't see that either. And people have more equity in their homes now too, because they stop like the frivolous spending or tapping their equity to go like put a kitchen in. To your point there with prices, the rates are so low. There's still going to be demand. There's still very little inventory, and people like they're not going to stop having their lives happen. Like the person that's moving because they're outgrowing their house or they're getting relocated. Those people are still going to move. We're less than a 3-month supply right now. We have over 2,000 homes in our market that are under an active listing contract that have been paused from the market, meaning like they're TO or withdrawn. So those homes are coming back on, and that stuff's going to sell. But there's a health concern right now. Some people don't want people coming in their house. So I'm just trying to gear up and be ready to go balls to the wall here as soon as it is over. And just like I've already told my wife, like, hey, I'm going to be working a shit ton. Be ready. Like this is how it's going to have to go. And having that game face on whenever this breaks.
What do you think,
Eric? Is this your only friend, Eric? Ross Marshall? I see the only common friend is you. He's got a question there.
What's this question?
Do you know Ross?
Yeah, I do.
His question is, would you rather list a 1-bedroom, 500 square foot condo in Naples, Florida, or a 100-year-old 2-bedroom townhome in downtown Detroit? Well, since you know him, we'll leave that question to you, Eric.
I don't know. That's a ridiculous question. I guess the the 1-bedroom in Naples, Florida.
Smart move.
Yeah, seems a little safer, I guess.
Who is this Ross character with this creative question?
Ross is my good friend from college.
He's a good friend. All right.
We got another
comparative?
question here. There's talk of potential increase in REOs in 12 to 18 months due to fire, barbecue, and job losses.
Forbearance. I think it meant to be forbearance. Although fire barbecue sounds delicious.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Talk about barbecuing instead. That seems to be an appropriate topic. Let's change it up a little bit. Let's have some fun.
Yes.
There's talk of it. I mean, who knows? I mean, some of these forbearance options, you got to make a 4-month mortgage payment and then 90 days. Like that doesn't help anybody. It's like, okay, we're going to let you skate by now, and then the lump sum's due in 4 months, and you're not working. What's that do for you?
Yeah.
Do you guys see foreclosures coming up in 12 to 18 months? I've heard some people talk about it. I'm curious.
Do we see what?
Foreclosures.
What'd you say?
REOs.
Hey, for those in the chat that don't know, Robert, can you explain what a foreclosure is?
Really?
I'm kidding.
Can you explain what a foreclosure is?
That was a reference to an older joke.
I mean, there's some people that aren't going to get jobs back. I mean,
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's not, and no one's trying to predict it, but it's like it's bound to happen. There's
I know people with
unemployment.
I know people at some big places, big employers. They're told, "Hey, your job's not going to be here when this is over." Like it's already happened, and we're 38 days in or whatever it is here.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that it's going to be a 20% drop like 2008. It might be a 2% drop. I'm not forecasting like the end of the world, but like there has to be. There's 44 million unemployment claims or whatever that number is, a super big number, 22 million or whatever. Like it's going to have some reciprocal effect.
I actually saw somewhere today, it was a random post as I was scrolling. It said 22 million jobs have been created since the Great Depression. And so far 22 million-ish have lost their jobs in like the last 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And I was like, whoa.
I saw that too.
Well, geez, maybe I'll just go to bed now.
Who's that?
What's that?
That's the question. Did Carol kill her husband? Well, I don't even know what this means.
Absolutely.
Tiger King thing, probably.
1,000,000% Carol killed her husband.
Did you
Who's
watch
Carol?
I'll have to watch the show.
Am I the only one that watches the show?
Bro, I watched 11 minutes of it. My wife watched all 7 episodes back to back. I couldn't watch it. Everybody looks so unhealthy. I can't do it.
Oh my goodness. Absolutely. She killed her husband.
People are
She fed him
missing
to the
limbs and
tigers.
stuff. I'm out.
You couldn't watch it because people looked unhealthy.
Very unhealthy. It's depressing. Like literally,
I didn't want to get a granola bar and take a hike.
Absolutely. She killed her husband. She fed him to the tigers.
Best way to dispose of somebody, man, right? Tiger.
Yeah.
idea.
I mean, you always poop. Like, you don't have to worry about it. Like, you're not finding a body. Like, it's just
See?
digested.
Exactly.
Oh, is that the Tiger Show? What is that whole thing?
I mean, it's Tiger
Only
King.
Jason knows.
Tiger King. Is
I
that what you're
can't be
talking
the
about?
only
Tiger
one that
King?
watched Tiger King on this panel. Don't tell me you guys are reading self-help books and like working out.
Eric had to have watched it. I didn't see it. I'm sure Eric saw it.
Yeah, I watched
I've been
Tiger King.
watching Walking
He's
Dead.
a big
You saw
culture
that.
freak.
Walking Dead. I haven't seen the last Sunday's episode.
Dude,
Did
the
they even have
fucking
one?
no, there's no episode because they can't edit the finale because of the virus.
So there's no new episode. Last Sunday there was nothing.
No, it's done. They're like, oh, well, we only need a couple days, and I'm like, dude, someone can't do that from home on an Apple computer. Like, what is going on here?
I'm obsessed. That beta dude is just insane. He is crazy. You got anybody else watch Walking Dead?
I did like up till the Alexandria season. I stopped around there.
Tell you what, if things keep going this way in Pennsylvania, I'm getting a skin mask and just squatting a gated community and locking it down. Bring my family in there. Like, that's it. Like, find some place with water. It's over.
That escalated quickly.
Derek says he can't take advice from anyone that's never watched Tiger King.
Thank you. I'm with him.
I'll never watch it.
I'm not.
Derek.
I can't do it. There's no way.
Sorry, Derek.
What else are you guys
Gregory.
watching besides sports replays and depressing myself?
1996 Eastern Conference Finals. Ozark. Jumping into Ozark. We're on season 2. My wife and I now. No, non-starter.
All of these sound
Good,
terrible.
good talk.
Nobody
They all
responds to
sound
that.
terrible.
Good
I
talk.
actually, you know what I did? When this first hit, I went back and I watched because I've got Jill, who's on the back end of this Zoom call. Jill gave me her HBO passcode. And I'm like, all right,
Times
I'm
are
gonna have a
tough
little
over here.
time-
I gotta share passcodes.
Yeah, I mean, geez.
little passcode on HBO. I watched McMillions, and then I went back into Entourage. Like, it was going back in time, rewatching
good one.
Entourage was
That was
phenomenal.
probably one of the more overrated shows. It was good, but
No, it was perfect. It was just what it should have been. It was
Yeah,
everything it should have been.
There's a reason why you skipped during your critique of Entourage there because it's
Yeah,
unwarranted.
Exactly.
Mark Wahlberg shut you down right there.
He did.
then
Tom,
I
what do you watch?
we started watching the morning show on Apple. Watched a couple episodes of that. It's pretty good.
Little Reese
Got
Witherspoon.
Steve Carell, Reese Witherspoon,
Jennifer
Jennifer
Aniston.
Yeah, we 2 episodes in so far, so good.
Good.
Hey, Manuel has a legit question. It's not a quarantine related question. He says, but what would your game plan be when a seller wants to list and cannot close until they find an apartment to buy and live in? Their credit doesn't allow them to qualify for a co-op, and condos are slightly overpriced in the area. Was thinking of
Jesus.
telling her to rent for a year and get her credit right. By the way, the memes are hilarious. I don't know. Maybe he's talking about the broke agents memes.
Probably
I think
not.
he gets those from a guy named Jason
He's-
Cassity. But,
So wait a minute. The question is, someone needs to list their house, but they can't close
Also,
on it.
Byron,
That
someone
person
said they-
can't sell their house. Like, you can't do that to
Yeah, I
somebody.
was gonna
Like,
say
you
that
got to give them the right advice.
cannot close until they find an apartment to buy and live in.
Well, then they have to
They
pay
wanna
for one of the
sell, but-
overpriced condos, right?
They want to sell, but they can't. They don't. They're one of those. They don't want to sell it until they got the whole thing lined up, perfect timeline situation.
Oh yeah. That's a tough one.
Pause.
In
I mean,
this
they
market,
can-
it's going to be in this market. It'd be impossible to do, right? Because you have such tight inventory.
Yeah, you sell. I
Um,
mean, how you do it is you sell with the contingency of the suitable replacement property. But I mean, if the condos in his purchase place are too high, like he says, I mean, that sounds like a personal preference, and he's not going to find something that's going to warrant the sale. So don't do it.
And I think anytime you put out there that I'm not going to close unless I find the perfect house for
Yep.
me as a seller, you're demotivating buyers. So right there, as a seller, you're not putting yourself in the best position, and you, Manuel, as the listing agent, would tell your seller that you're
Yeah.
not going to be in a position of strength by going to the market with that stipulation. So sell your house in a competitive market, go rent if you have to for a little bit, and then buy something when it's when everything matches up perfectly in your
100%.
life.
Just take care of the sale first.
Agreed. And we got a couple other
Byron.
questions rolling in. Byron,
Yeah,
your
Derek-
hat is terrible on video.
I didn't hear the Byron something terrible.
Also,
Byron, do you
Derek,
know that a hat is terrible on video? Yes or no question.
The hat is a terrible thing on video.
yeah, it has nothing on it besides like a little side logo.
This is a Lacoste hat.
It's a Lacoste hat.
Okay.
Oh, I see the alligator now.
And then someone
seen the
said, "I
same
can't take
hat.
advice. I can't take advice from a guy whose entire office is covered in cork." I think
It's
that's
the
directed at you,
the
Byron.
Unabomber, bro.
This is a cedar wood closet. This cedar, somebody back in the day paid a lot of money for this cedar wood to bring it in here and make this closet very fancy. I'm reaping the benefits of their hard work. Fresh little smell. I got a candle going over there because I've been working out of here for 10 hours a day, and it's starting to stink like a boy's locker room in here. But I got a little candle, got the cedar wood. It's a beautiful thing.
That
Can't
seems
go
like
wrong.
a fire hazard.
I've got
Did
at
I just
least
get a laugh out
100
of Jill.
I
I got at
couldn't
least
help that.
120 square feet.
Thanks, Joe.
Yes.
It was Chris
Jill, what were
Collette.
these messages the broke agent was sending you? Like, can you read them out loud? Would that be?
No, probably not. I don't know. Can I? Can I read them out loud?
Nope. No, you can't.
But it was Chris Collette that said about the hat from Chinati's office. So
They don't like the hat. They're not a fan of the hat. I've bought this hat 100 times. I just keep buying it every year.
no, it's
Blue,
that you've been
white,
told
black.
before not to wear a hat on video. It covers so much of your face.
That's probably a true statement. But here's the deal. Once you find a hat that fits, never get a new one. Just keep buying the same thing. You get something that fits, stay with it the rest of your life. Don't try a new hat. Hats are very picky. You get one hat, too floppy, too tall, too wide, too flat. You get a
All
perfect
right,
hat.
we're
and you
losing
stay with
viewers.
it.
We're losing viewers.
This is why the
On the
people
hat,
tune
they
in
don't
right
like the
here.
hat.
Yeah, this is
I actually
what they pay for.
disagree. I actually have several different shaped hats, and I think they all look good on me.
What kind of hats you got? Like a safari hat, like a Panama hat, like
I
the
got
man
a
in the
safari
yellow
hat.
hat? Like, what are you wearing here,
One of those
man?
like 360 hats to make sure I don't get burned in the sun. They got buttons right here so I can button it up and look like a cowboy if I don't want that much sun. I've got different kinds of caps and running hats, and I like it all, man. Then my newest obsession is the headband. I'm obsessed with the headband. I'm gonna get like 3 more colors. Hey, we actually have a legit question here. Another one. Somebody mentioned inspectors getting a waiver to get inside homes. Realtors too for showings. Curious how that works.
I guess it depends on the state because I'm
Was
going
it-
through this a lot.
Yeah.
So some inspectors have waivers and they can get in, but like the realtors can't. It depends on what your state's saying essential or not. And if there's a waiver, I mean, this is exactly the problem in Pennsylvania right now.
There was a lot of misinterpretation because initially when it came out, it was real estate services, but they meant like home inspectors and appraisers who were already in escrow, not agents to show property. But then that got amended and now agents are allowed to show property, but with a lot of restrictions, but only in certain states too. So it's state by state.
We're doing it. You're doing it right, Jason, on everything you guys do, and every showing, every entry. It's that.
Yeah, we have a
form, right?
PEAD, which is a form that basically like you have to get people. Anybody who walks into the house has to sign.
Yeah. it's a
We have
paid-
COVID.
Is it like a health questionnaire?
No, it's just more so like a disclosure saying that you're going to abide by all the CDC recommendations. And if you have coughed or friggin' have any symptoms, like don't come in the house, and that you're acknowledging that you're fine to the best of your knowledge, that type of stuff.
It's all
That's
common
what-
sense stuff, but it's a liability thing now. So
It's California, man. There's a disclosure for everything out here. Like I think there's 4 or 5 COVID-19 related disclosures in California now.
yeah. There's an addendum now too that basically says you can back out for any reason, even if you remove contingencies, if it's COVID related. If everybody signs it, you got an out.
So it's weird because like there's the COVID disclosure, which allows you to extend timelines for up to 30 days in the case
Yeah,
of like a lender takes longer to fund or something like that. You can actually extend, but you can't cancel. But then what a lot of people are doing is trying to claim force majeure, which is the act of God provision, basically, which is not in the California residential purchase agreement, but it is in California civil code. But then you take into the next thing that force majeure, did COVID-19 actually not allow you to close? No, it just, the market may have dipped and now you don't want to close. That's not actually force majeure. Force majeure would be like a hurricane taking out the house while you're in escrow, right? So there's all kinds of things, and it's all unprecedented. We've never had this really in California. We deal with earthquakes, but that's about it. Like we've never really had this type of case law behind it. So anyways, that's what we were dealing with the COVID stuff.
Stop with all your
Hey,
fancy foreign language talk here, man. I mean, like, what are you trying to show us up here? Like,
I
come on.
know, right? Got like a little
No.
French accent when you're saying it.
Force majeure.
Alan's got another legit question. Would you like to know, or no, would like to know your opinions on joining a team versus working as an independent in your first 18 months?
That's a good question.
I recommend joining a team right away. Your
Yeah.
first 18
I recommend
months,
joining my team right away. So just go to my website, send me a message. You'll be
go
fine.
to tomtoole.com/careers.
That matters though. I mean, if like I went independent right out of the gate, but like, and that was it was a much harder route. You know what I mean? Looking back on it, I probably should have joined a team, but if you join a bad team, that's just as bad as trying to go at it on your own. I think like if you have a chance to join, I'm going to throw out like Kyle Whistle or Seth O'Byrne. These are guys in San Diego who are just really, really good team leaders. Like if you have a chance to join the best teams in your respective neighborhood, you join the team. But if you're just joining a team for the team's sake, that could be just as bad as going independent. So you got to feel it out. But if you have the opportunity, and if you're not from the neighborhood, you don't have family connections, you probably want to get on a team.
Well, I would say you probably want to ask questions. Sorry, Byron, that like, what can I expect in my first year? What are your other year agents doing? Like, get the right information, because there's going to be some teams that can't answer that, and the ones that can't answer that are the ones you don't want to talk to.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's not
going to be a
split
best.
either.
No, it's definitely not about split. Split in your first 18 months, you should be willing to work. In New York City, they got to work for 10% in their first year. You should be willing to work for almost nothing in your first year, because in your first year, you're worth about nothing, by the way. So what you should do is you should research the top 3 teams based off of just how they're ranked in terms of production in your area, or maybe one of them's somebody that's rising, and you should do what Tom said, which is, if you've got enough value, you should really be turning that interview around on them. And if they have a legit interview process, you're going to find out very quickly that you're not going to be able to turn that interview around on them. They're going to have a procedure how they do it. They're going to show you the value up front of joining the team. You should be able to understand quite clearly the value of the training and the guidance that you're going to get. And you should absolutely 100% join a team and at least give it 12 to 24 months. You're saying first 18 months, perfect. Give your whole first 18 months to that team. Don't even utter the word split for 18 months. Put your head down and work.
Yeah, for sure. I'd much rather intern for Mauricio Mansky than get a 60% split for some other team. You know what I mean? It matters a lot, like who you're learning from in that first year.
Especially right now when leads are scarce.
Yeah.
Think about the situation we're in right now. The teams right now that have relationships with, say, Zillow or, have a brand in the market, those are the teams that are going to be getting the majority of the leads right now.
Dude,
there's also a lot of people that were lead driven and teams that bought their way to success instead of instilling the right behavior. I mean, we all know a team like this in our market that they just bought a shitload of leads. They feed them to their agents. They convert at a very low rate and have a very high spend. That's not the place to go find the right habits and behaviors right now.
One of my favorite was Tom Bilyeu posted a video like 3 or 4 months. He was like, if you're young and you want to learn and you want to grow, go find somebody that's doing it like you want to do it, and basically say, I'll do anything you want me to do for 3 months. And after 3 months, if you're willing to pay me to stay, I'd love to work here, right? And so it's like you got to prove who you are before the team leader is going to buy in on you anyway. So I think it's a two-way road for sure. A lot of new agents just want to come in and kind of take advantage of the buffet mentality, and very few want to do the sweat equity and earn their spot on the team. So
now Eric can tell us how great it is to be a solo agent. Eric, go ahead. Tell us about that individual agent life.
I was on a team for my first 8 months of real estate, and I cold called and door knocked for 8 months and set up one appointment, got no leads, and sat dead open houses every Saturday and Sunday. So I would not recommend it. And then every buyer that I would bring in was 40%, and every seller was 30% because my team is paying for the marketing. But I brought in nobody, so it didn't even matter. So
now, were you on a team that was training you, and you were not taking in, or maybe you were taking in that knowledge, or were they not training you at all? What was your experience there?
I was taking in knowledge with the experience of doing showings and inspections and open houses. This is like 5 years ago. but they were not like specifically training me with contracts or anything like that.
Why did
Not
you?
I mean, contracts. Any dumb agent should be able to figure out a stupid contract. But
That is
I'm
not
talking about
true, by the way. Like people fuck shit up all the time,
Should,
man. Like
should,
Yeah, there's little
should.
things
over
that-
that. So
and we train for contracts. So I'm kidding. We do weekly training on our contracts. But at the end of the day, if you want it bad enough, you're going to figure out the stupid form. You're going to read it. My point is, were they training you on actually how to get business, like how to farm an area, how to brand for business,
No.
not for,
They
the
set me up.
unions?
They set me up with Land Voice. You know what that is? It's like an
Yeah.
expired listing system. So they set me up with Land Voice, gave me a script, and then I would call people every day for 3 hours. And then I would door knock those exact homes for the next 3 or 4 hours in the afternoon, and just pray to God that nobody was home and that nobody would answer. It
What
was,
did you
it was
say
a
to
fucking,
people? Did they give
it was
you
a fucking nightmare, to be honest. Huh?
What did you say to
Yeah,
these
I would just say, hey, it's Eric Simon calling from Hilton and Highland. I see your listing expired. Are you still in the process of interviewing other agents? And then usually they just hang up on me. And then my Australian guy who was sitting behind me would always get listing appointments. It was infuriating.
because your script work sucks, if that's how you said it, I can
The
tell you
script is
right now.
pathetic. The
Yeah.
script was
Oh, I
pathetic,
mean-
right, Tom?
That was a
I
synopsis.
just said that at the same time.
All right. got it.
Obviously the script was pathetic, but yeah, I got nothing in like 8 months. So, but that birthed the broke agent. So I think it was useful.
There we go.
I love
Comment here. That sounds terrible, Eric. So you got some empathy from the crowd here.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank God. Are
They want
are
a bug
people-
for
I got a good text here from a buddy's watching. NBA resumes today. What's everyone's predictions?
NBA resumes today?
Yeah.
Is that breaking news on this?
No,
little,
No,
uh,
it's
I think it's
a
more
question. What are your predictions if the NBA resumes today and they have
this is a
the
hypothetical. This
ramp
is
up?
sports talk radio. We're back to
Clippers,
sports talk radio.
Lakers,
Clippers over Bucks in 6. I would
Lakers,
say.
Bucks.
I mean, obviously
I
the Sixers
find
are going to win it all.
myself,
so-
myself wanting the Lakers to stick it to Kawhi. So I'm gonna say
I agree.
Lakers.
Wait a minute.
And,
Why? I like Kawhi. What's wrong with Kawhi?
Lakers
like
are
them.
better than the
I'm not a
Clippers.
fan.
They're
How can you not
gelling
like
better.
Kawhi, San Diego State guy right there?
After
He's
he
just
got
like-
that little bounce shot to drop in, all of a sudden he's the greatest player in the
Dude.
history of
Well,
NBA.
I mean, he also had NBA Finals like 4 years earlier, and he's an all-team first.
Yeah,
team.
with Tim
Okay.
Duncan.
Yeah.
He signed a contract with New Balance. I'm not a fan. Okay, I don't like him. All right, I want, and I hate LeBron James really, so I don't know why I would cheer for him. But I'd like to see the story of the Lakers doing it. LeBron's got to be hating it right now. It's like he's getting
Yeah.
older. He was on such a run, and then this happens. It's like
I think he loves it because he has his MVP season in the books, and now he might not have to play another game. So I
Yeah.
think
Do you
this is like
Do you think
this
he's
is
gonna
like
be
the
good?
settle-
He's not going
No.
to get MVP though. Giannis is going to get MVP though.
I know it felt like he needed
No,
another
I think
week to
LeBron
lock
is.
up.
No, Giannis will win MVP for sure. He has
Giannis won it
better stats
last
than
year. They're not
last
going to
year.
give him back to back.
Yeah, he has
Yeah,
better
they're not going
stats
to give
than
him back
last
to
year.
back. Does he?
Yeah,
Lakers Bucks.
LeBron
That
is
was
the
what I would
best.
say.
Lakers, Bucks.
Mac?
I think the Sixers come out of nowhere and win it all because obviously I'm a homer. So whatever.
Didn't
You are a
Ben
total
Simmons
homer.
is hurt? Isn't he out for?
He's been resting for
Yeah,
40
that's true.
45
Now, I mean,
days. He's
yeah, he
recovered,
came back
man.
now. He was that worked out for him.
Dude, I think LeBron's in a better spot because he gets all this rest now. If they have another
Yeah.
training camp and go to the playoffs, he knows how to do that. Now Kawhi also he never plays full season anyway. He only plays like 65 games.
Yeah, Paul
Um,
George too. He's been load
They,
managing.
they didn't gel though. The Lakers were gelling. Like they had some
Yeah.
chemistry. Like the Clippers couldn't come together. So I think the Lakers would probably end up winning, but it would be. I'd fucking
Love that.
kill to watch some hoops right now. I don't know about you guys. Oh my
Me
god.
too. I think
Anything.
Luka's the best player in the league in 5 years. What do you think?
No, but if
No?
the NBA comes back,
No
Yeah,
color
maybe.
to that comment.
no, I
Okay.
just no. If the NBA comes back, it's gonna be like, you know how in the NCAA somebody can come out of nowhere and make the Final Four. It could be like that because they haven't had the continuity. You come back, you just do a playoffs and a finals. There could be some team that just gets hot, like Westbrook and Harden or something, and runs through the playoffs, similar to what you see March Madness. which we
Actually,
didn't
I think
have
the
either.
Sixers would actually have it. The Sixers or
Sixers would be
Celtics, someone
that
from
team.
the East could clip. You know, I think the Sixers or Celtics could come from the East, clip the Bucks, and then make it a splash. And that would
The
be like-
Celtics. You hear that, Tom? It could be the Celtics. Could be the
Yeah.
Green.
Green. Yeah.
Hey, Jason Tatum.
I'll
Jason
tell you what
Tatum
it
was
wouldn't
on a
be. It
tear.
would not be Westbrook, man. That guy is the modern day Allen Iverson. Like he's just a cancer on this team. He's such a head case.
That's a good comparison. I like that.
Who would you bet, Eric? Who would you bet on? Like you had to pick a team right now, even odds.
Even
He
odds.
loses all his bets.
No, he and I actually. So he and I were betting the NFL playoffs. This was great.
We had a bad first weekend, Tom.
Yeah, but you know what? We made it all back on the Super Bowl, so that's what counts.
You did. You made it all back on the Super Bowl. I acted like I made it all back on the Super Bowl.
He's Eric's a degenerate. He had every prop bet on that goddamn game you could imagine, probably. I hope your mom's still not watching.
I know, seriously.
Seriously.
It's okay. She knows I throw a few dollars on sports every now and then. If I had to bet my life on a team winning the championship this year, I'd probably bet the Lakers, just because the Kobe stuff in the background. I felt like they were gelling at the end of this. I think there's really no one in the East, so I'd take the Lakers.
There you go.
A text from Tom Ferry says, I have an important voicemail from the CDC for the broke agent. I haven't listened to this. You guys, should I just play it? Like, I don't know if it's going to be funny or what here.
I've listened
Play
to
it.
it.
Real?
Yeah, play it.
Maybe the views will go back up if you play it.
I know exactly what this is already.
I do too.
It's a BS voicemail, Tom.
Yeah, it's about
No,
a small penis.
Keep listening. Keep listening.
No.
Isn't it, Jason?
Penis joke? Okay. That's fine.
Yeah, it's a small penis. It's anybody with a small penis is going to die of COVID, basically.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
That's exactly what it is. And
Do you think Tom Ferry
you've been
would send that
identified?
one?
Did Tom Ferry really send that, Tom, or did you just make that up?
Yeah, no, it's me. He copied me and Rob on here.
Well, are you somebody going to play it, or are we going to sit here and wonder what it says?
It's like a BS. It's like here, listen.
No, you need to listen to the whole thing. I'm gonna grab another beer.
Hold on. I gotta.
An important message from the CDC. You have been recognized as someone who has been in direct contact with a person or persons who have COVID-19 coronavirus. You are required to remain where you are and self-quarantine for 14 days and possibly more due to your small wiener. Wieners have within more quarantine days. Wiener size like yours could triple your time. Please be advised that you have a tiny weenie.
That's about as raunchy as Tom gets. Like, there's been a couple times where I wanted to send him something a little edgy, and I definitely can't do it. But you can send it to Bill Pipes. You can send Pipes the edgy stuff, no question about it.
Pipes is edgy.
He's edgy.
Yeah, I'd hate to be single right now, I guess, is what I'll say to that video. You know, be quarantined single.
Oh man, and just being in your house by yourself, I'd lose it. I don't know.
That was Eric. That was Eric looking so that we still think he has a girlfriend. Did you see him looking over to pretend?
Hey, say hi to Diane for us, bro.
Say hi to your mom.
Yeah, thank you.
That was awesome. You're like, who's Diane Simon? Oh, that's my mom.
Eric, did your girlfriend ask if you wanted another Hot Pocket tonight, or?
No, we're making chili tonight, Byron. We got
Okay.
something real in the books.
It's nice.
Hey, Byron, what are your thoughts on Stool Presidente, man, right now? Is he just losing it?
I don't know, because I haven't seen all these frozen pizza ones. I saw the ones in the beginning, but now that he lost me on the boxing. I don't want to watch the boxing.
No,
Dude, that shit was boring. Like, I'm over it. Like,
no, I watched it for like 10 seconds, and yeah, but he's just losing it. He's just cutting stuff up. He's getting boxes mailed to him from fans, and
he should do the boxes as another video. I'm not interested in the boxes. I do like the pizza reviews. I still like the pizza reviews, even though they're frozen. I still like them.
What's Stool Presidente?
The guy Barstool Sports.
Oh, got it.
billionaire owner.
Got it.
Hey, what I have been doing is buying a little bit of PENN, Penn National, which is the company that bought Barstool Sports. That is the one stock tip of the day. Penn National. Buy them up.
What'd you get it at?
My average buy price is $11. They're somewhere around that right now, but they dropped as low at one point as like $3.50. Anyways, if you think casinos, degenerate sports betting is ever going to come back, that's a stock to Barstool Sports. They have casino gaming in 19 different states, and there's supposed sports come back and start a Barstool Sports betting app. So the states that allow for legal sports betting, they'll they'll be on top of that. But
Yeah.
if you think sports is never coming back and gambling is never coming back, don't buy that stock.
Oh, it's going to come back. Mac, you buying up any stocks?
I'm looking up Penn. You know, I'm not really a huge stock guy, man. I'm in real estate, so I've always invested in
Right.
real estate. I've got my typical retirement accounts, but nothing sexy, right? So,
Will Khalil says Jim Cramer likes Penn, the big stock guy, Jim Cramer. Do you guys know who that's? The Kramer? Not
Yeah, Mad Money.
Cosmo Kramer from
Mad Money.
Seinfeld.
Mad Money, yeah.
Mad Money.
Penn's hovering at 13.4.
So I'm up. I'm at 11.
Did you grab any Realogy at $2?
No, I was gonna. And
It's gonna go down, so you shouldn't buy it.
I bought it at two something. Yeah.
So they're in the threes right now. So you're okay.
50% up right now. Money. I love it.
50% up.
I bought
I don't know.
and Realogy.
Maybe
at the
like
beginning.
33%.
Can you get any more scarier than that stock? I don't know.
I think I remember it was at 4 last year and it jumped to 9, and then now it's back down to like 2, 3.
Dude, when we were at T3, the first question Swanpool asked the CEO, he goes, "So what's up with your stock price?" And I'm just like,
And that was last year in
and
in-
Swanpool's a nice guy. Like he just went for it. Jugular.
Who is Swan
did you
Pool?
see?
Tom, who is
Runs like
Swan
a-
Pool?
he runs like a real estate conference of all the CEOs. So like they'll do like
What-
talks.
See that?
Why does he have the authority to like rank people?
People,
It's like Burning Man for real estate CEOs.
Straight up.
What's
he's like
And Byron and
real
Tom.
estate
Okay.
meme. He's the broke agent of real estate memes. Or
Yeah,
something.
he's a researcher market. His whole company is built around research, and obviously they have a consulting arm that goes along with that. But he writes publications like this one, right? Trends for the does all that kind of stuff. But
Your bookshelves in your closet too?
I got a whole bunch of bookshelf up here.
He's got a Murphy bed in there. The
You have clothes in your closet?
I have a little doggy door right here. My wife just slides in breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I got no windows. We're talking about pumping in some fresh air, but maybe next month. I mean, I can go out there.
I gotta
daughter
run.
might be in
I gotta
bed
go
now.
buy groceries and stuff. I gotta do some stuff tonight.
Yeah, I gotta go parent.
Good. See you later.
All right.
It's
All
been
All right,
real.
guys. Good work.
It's been real. It's
Good.
been
We'll
fun.
run this thing.
Maybe we'll do
Um,
another one and it'll be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we do
Maybe.
another one, we got to get 6 people so the boxes are complete. We had 5. I didn't like that too
Maybe we'll
much.
get some comments. Any women want to be a part of this so we can have some of that yin and yang.
Yeah,
I got some ideas.
a little diversity would be
I know
good.
so does Eric. He's got a couple people in mind. So.
Shut up, Tom.
Well, who do you got in mind, Eric? Tease it out
Yeah.
now before the
I have
next one.
I have nobody else in mind. One in company. knows and Tom
Diane
knows.
Simon. I mean, come on, isn't
That's
that who we're
right.
all talking about here?
Yeah, we'll get my mom in here exactly.
Oh, I know
All
where
right,
I know where
guys.
Tom was going with that.
What?
Diane
All right,
Simon.
bye.
See you later.
Diane Simon.
Bye,
See you
guys.
guys.
Later.
Be healthy.